who was an accomplished waste management engineer. So Accra was re-established by ET Mensah. You know.
See. Now, what would you say beyond the things that you have mentioned? What would you say were some of the challenges that he encountered? I mean, people obviously may not have liked some of the initiatives that he took. For example, if you were building and you had not gone through the right processes, he would come and demolish that building.
Yes, he would demolish it, but that was the initial strategy. Then he put together the Accra Planning Committee and brought all the planning agencies together. I mean, when I say together, they were brought together. The Accra Planning Committee was meeting daily under Mrs. Adipa, the Deputy Director and Country Planning Director. So they were meeting daily to approve permits.
Okay.
You know, so it was thought like I have got a delayed permit or not anything, and that's why I'm building without a permit. You know, the building engineers were there, the building inspectors were there, and country planning people were there, lands commission all of them were there.
I see.
And I'm saying that ET Mensah is the father of modern Accra. Let me tell you what he did for me in that moment.
Okay.
You know, there was a road from Choco. It's called the Old Winneba Road.
Right.
You remember?
Right.
That road was to pass through Dansuman, behind Opokuwari, to join the Sakaman Road. Right. But somebody had developed a house in the middle, so the construction could not go on. Now, ET Mensah came, we sat down, and our decision was that for the Dansuma roundabout, it used to be called 250 roundabout. So we were going to construct the road that you see today in front of Martin de Porres.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the main one towards the Sakaman, all the way that connects.
That is right. That is the ET Mensah's work.
That is now General Champon Road.
Yeah, that's a General Champon. It was put under Urban 3. So it was here ET Mensah. I'm saying that he was the one who opened Dansuman. You know, after the runabout, he extended the road to exhibition and control and exhibition. That's how come Dansuman became and now a good place for people to come and live.
Now, you tell me.
You were asking me about some of his challenges. ET Mensah became a victim of his own success.
Tell me about it. Why do you say that?
You know, some of our own colleagues plotted his removal from the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. You know, there was a flood, and we went around. But when we came, we heard that some people, traders, were being mobilized at the Parliament House. For what purpose? So ET Mensah sent somebody to go and check. Judge Kobodo went and checked and said people were being mobilized to demonstrate against him for increasing the market tolls from 4 cities to 7 cities. You know, so these demonstrators, those demonstrators is what you see now as Guta.
Okay.
You know, that's the beginning of Guta.
I see.
They demonstrated and came to AMA and they said they didn't want ET Mensah. And so that night he was announced to be dismissed. But the assembly members, led by my good self and my friend, my deputy, I was the chief whip, Nino Todia. You don't remember Nino Todia?
And you remember him, the lecturer, politician, parliamentarian.
Yes, he was my deputy chief whip. Franklin Ankra and the rest. We said no way. If President Rawlings does not re-establish or reinstate ET Mensah, there will be no assembly because now assembly is supposed to be non-political. That's the time we really established ourselves as the assembly. You understand? And I've told you that the assembly had strong intellectuals behind us. So we held this suspension for a month and a half. They had appointed Mr. Kofi Potofi, you remember?
Yes.
As the AMA boss. And we decided that we would not allow him in the AMA. And they established the tradition that as the mayor, you should be sworn in by the chief whip. and I was the chief whip and the leader of the team against that. So we took Rawlings on for about a month and a half until the Rawlings gave the matter to Kwame Nkrumah, Justice D.F. Annan, and Cecilia Johnson. So we went there, talked, and they said no. The president has already announced. To rescind will be an embarrassment. So that we should find a compromise. Then we said, okay, fine. ET Mensah is a sports person, and sports then was in shambles. So he should be appointed as the youth and sports minister.
Okay.
That's how Tom Rawlings appointed him as the youth and sports minister.
Was he indeed the barber of former President Rawlings?
Well, I've not seen him do that, but he was very close to Rawlings.
Where did the name Washe come from?
Washe, he's a footballer. And at Choco Mampubi there, he was a very popular footballer. And he even played for the Auroras. And I think that's where he got the name Washe.
Washe.
Yeah.
At the time when Mr. E.T. Mensah was leaving the AMA, you've explained the circumstances. He had then established an AMA or Accra City Council that...
No, it came from Accra City Council to Accra Metropolitan Authority, now to Accra Metropolitan Assembly.
Right. Now, he had established it so well. Question on my mind this morning is, why were you still operating then from a rented apartment if he had done all these beautiful things?
Which was the rented apartment?
Then the one close to then next to the Bank of Ghana?
To the best of my knowledge, it's an AMA building.
I see.
You know,
I'm asking this because also the sub-metros. I mean, the one, for example, that used to be on the Ogle Road.
Wait a minute, let me explain to you.
Explain to me, sir.
We used to have only one wooden structure at AMA behind the Bank of Ghana.
Okay.
He rebuilt it and built another block adjoining it for the assembly hall. Okay? And then he removed the trotro drivers near the Novotel because it was he who looked into the document and saw that the current AMA building, the site, belonged to the AMA, but it has been taken over by the GPRTU and they were running it for Ho and Ho stations. Right? It became a tug of war, big tug of war between AMA and the GPRTU. And you know, in those days, GPRTU was a very, very powerful organization.
That's right.
But ET Mensah said, look, we can't have a city authority, you know, in the middle of Accra, in that structure there. So he said and convinced Rawlings that we needed that. And that's why today you have the AMA building near the TUC.
I see.
It was ET Mensah's big work. Now, another thing ET Mensah introduced was Sister City.
Okay.
You know, he twinned Accra to New York and other cities, Monrovia and the rest. And therefore, we were having this intercity relationship. It was very, very wonderful and productive for Accra.
Would you say that the legacy of Mr. E.T. Mensah has been properly preserved and maybe furthered, if you will?
Well, he asked me to write 2 chapters into a book that he was writing, and I narrated all these things in details with dates and everything, you know. But look at it. Look, before I end, E.T. Mensah was a reader. The first time I went to his house and saw his library, I was amazed, very amazed. And he read every book. You know, when I was at the AMA, we worked so close, and he taught me 3 things. He said, Sam, whatever you do, be humble about whatever position you get. Work hard at it and be honest. And that thing has never left me. There's something we call the 3 H's. Work hard, be humble, and be honest. You know, because I was very close with him and I worked so hard with him, I was elected at that young age to go to the Consultative Assembly, you know, and he would be giving me laws, history about the laws we were passed and the constitutional provisions that we were passing. You call me, give me insight, and I was an effective assembly contributor at assembly.
I see.
Now, After that, I was appointed the mayor of Cape Coast. You know what? ET Mensah became the father of Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly also. You know, when they were meeting at the Cape Coast Town Hall, you see, so he came and looked at the office and so we can do the assembly session here. He brought those days, the white chairs. He just gave me 200 of them free. That's what the assembly members used for about 4 years before the changes came.
I see.
Then he called Mr. Achano. Achano, you remember your uncle, Mr. Achano?
Right. Mr. Achano at the fire service?
Fire service.
Right.
That same day that I was proceeding to Cape Coast, Mr. Achano put together a fire service band and a fire tender for Cape Coast. You know, and sent Captain Okain, the Inspector Okain, the corporate collect inspector, to go and start the Cape Coast Municipal Assembly city gas. So this is what I know ET Mensah has done for me, the people of Dansuman, and for Accra.
So you're saying that the town hall at Bacano was put together by Mr. ET Mensah and you?
No, the town hall was it's a colonial legacy, but that's where the assembly members were meeting.
I see.
Most ineffectively.
Ambassador, ET Mensah goes home today. Will be draped in the national colors.
Yes.
If I asked you what lesson we can learn from him, particularly for those who have now been appointed MMDCs and those who will be appointed MMDCs in future, what would you say?
We should stop being petty in our politics. You should stop. You know, ET Mensah grew bigger than himself. You know, he defied all odds and became the unopposed Council of State member from the Greater Accra.
That's right.
Some people did not understand and forgive you, but I knew that he has taken a very good step because the wealth of experience ET Mensah had gathered could not have been used for anything but to advise the president for the good governance of this country. And I didn't begrudge him on that at all. Those who begrudge him do so because, you know, during Kufuor's time, ET Mensah was incarcerated, put in BNI cells. He said there were too many mosquitoes there. You understand? And we thought that he should be an arch enemy of Akufo-Addo and Kufuor. But ET Mensah looked beyond that. And that's the kind of politician we want. He was not a petty politician at all.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. Ambassador Sam P. Ali. We're grateful that you could speak to us this morning.
Thank you so much for remembering my brother, my mentor and master, ET Mensah.
Thank you very much. This is Sunrise here on 3FM 92.7. to the blessed memory of ET Mensah. Interesting comments there.
Yeah, and every politician in this country should should strive to get this level of praise for your work.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to all that the gentleman just spoke about, ET Mensah, you don't hear a politician, you hear a nationalist, you hear someone who came to serve and did nothing else but that. And that should be the narrative for the average politician in Ghana. And until we all get to that point, this country will not see any progress. We need to shift from looking at things from our party colors and begin to look at things from a national perspective. And my heart out to the man. I'm sure his family will be proud for all that he's done and the good works that we are hearing that he has done. And that should be the standard. So please, Mr. Politician, wherever you are, if you're listening to us, sit up, do things right. Stop thinking about your party. Think about Ghana, so that one day people will speak well of you. Amen.
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 Helen.
I agree with no, this was a full sermon, but very interesting account there by Mr. Yali, the driving around every evening at nighttime to ensure that the schools had adequate security, the setting up of the computer lab, all of these different interventions is what this type of job is about. Serving. It's about serving your people. You come and beg for the mandate to serve, and it sounds as though that's exactly what ET Mensah was doing, just working. And that's all we ask of our politics. I'm working. Johnny's working. Michael's working.
I'm working like
a bull.
You gotta work.
You gotta work like a bull. I mean, we break our backs every single morning, and that's all we want to hear. That official dom is doing same, working hard for us.
Well, I have no facts, but I know when the thing happened, like I said, I don't want to talk about it. I've been recording some of it, what happened, then who did what. And you know something? When the people were brought there, 25 Kufo buses, we went to certain corners, chased our people, and people were voting 10, 15 times. They called me, and as a youth leader for 20 years, the youth came from all over the place to come and fight. When I was told that, you can ask my wife and people who knew, you can ask, Simon. I called them everyone said, my friends, don't go out. I'm going to fight for what? Because they begged me to go and be a member of parliament. Because Papa said I was such a key figure, mobilizing the people, so I had to be in the center. And up to 1996, Pamba was nothing. We can talk about Pamba later. And then 10 elders from Ningo and Pram Pram, including my two, uncles and my senior brother, to come and beg me that I should blah, 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 blah. So I obtained permission that, okay, 1996, let me go on. Run it, and I went on, and it went on and on and on. Yeah, so when I pulled them out there, Sibon was here, it's my witness. I told them, listen to me, gentlemen, don't go and fight. They were going to crash the action which happened in Awiam.
The home village of the current MP.
No, that was why they went and played the game. All the buses went there, and people were just voting without anybody checking and all that. And then they didn't even get 10,000. Anyway, so I told them, listen to me. They are going to do this because of me. I have been in the system. 10 years mayor and minister. I've been in 7 ministries and all that. And people know my record. I have gone around the country. The youth, ask them today. It was from most of the former education minister. When you ask him, anytime I got to Kumasi, the hall will be filled. And when he became a member of parliament, he said, hey, now how did you do it? Because the people will run there, they're coming even and come and watch. And they sometimes even come to listen to us. We did all this. I don't want anybody, I don't want any blood in my
flow for
why I consider white apparel. I don't want it. Because I didn't want to come, and I wanted to stop. They said, go on this one. So this is the way some people want it. Let it be. And I told them, That is why some of the things that I told some of the youth, I've told them that thing severally. I've told you this severally on the platform. Violence. Che Guevara wrote once upon a time that if you are going to unleash violence, you have to be careful. You must be sure that you have put in place structures that can manage the fallout. Otherwise, don't do it.
That was the late ET Mensah, ET Mensah, a man who was born in the Greater Accra region. He was born on the 17th of May, 1946. He lived until the 1st of October, 2023. Commonly known as ET Mensah, was a Ghanaian politician. He was also a Minister for Education, Member of Parliament, Greater Accra Regional Youth and Sports Minister, and a member of the Council of State. He was born in Pram, the Greater Accra region, where he said it was nothing until he came into the picture. He schooled at Snaps College of Accountancy, where he completed in 1968. He also had an RSA 3 in 1970, and he became a fellow of the Institute of Financial Accountants in 1986. He was an accounts officer and worked at the University of Ghana, Legon, as an accounting officer. During the time of the PNDC, that's the Provisional National Defense Council, military regime in Ghana, he was the long-time chief executive of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, akin to being the mayor of Accra. He joined the National Democratic Congress when it was formed in 1992, and as a member of parliament, he stood for the Ghanaian parliament election in 1996 and was elected member of parliament for the Ningo Pram constituency, holding the seat for almost a decade. He first went into parliament after he was elected as a member of parliament of the second parliament of the Fourth Republic of Ghana during the 1996 general elections. He polled a total of 15,677 votes, representing 56.10%, defeating his opponent Desmond Nenekweno, who polled 1,569, representing only 5.6% of the votes, and Gwendolyn Sarah Addo, an independent candidate who also polled 1,537, representing 5.5%. And as Minister of State at the beginning of the Fourth Republic, he was appointed a Minister of Youth and Sport after he fell out with former President Jerry Rawlings, as just been narrated to us. And he was moved to the sports ministry because he had also played some football. That's where he got his name, Washe, from. And he held the position through both terms of the Rawlings administration. In January 2010, after a cabinet reshuffle, President Mills appointed him Minister for Employment and Social Welfare. So he served as Youth and Sports Minister, both under Jerry John Rawlings and under Professor Mills. And then, Minister for Employment and Social Welfare. He was also a member of the Pan-African Parliament until January 2009, when he resigned after being appointed a member of a Minister of State. He was appointed Minister for Education following the resignation of Betty Mould Idris, who would later become the Attorney General. On the 12th of February 2021, he was unanimously elected as the representative of the Council of State for the Greater Accra region. He was married with 7 children. He died in South Africa on the 1st of October 2023, age 77. He was also awarded the Companion of the Order of the Volta by President Kufuor's government, and it tells you how he has transcended, the spaces. He is fully Ghanaian. While he was in Parliament, he was a member of the Public Accounts Committee, the House Committee as well, the Finance Committee, Mines and Energy Committee, Trade Committee, and Industry and Tourism Committee. He is also, he was actually born, I should say, in Kufrida, not in Greater Accra region. I beg your pardon for that one. And you know that as Minister for Youth and Sports, before him was General Arnold Kwenu. And then he was succeeded by Malam Isa Chichinga. And then Minister for Employment and Social Welfare, he was preceded by Stephen Amoano Kwao, and then succeeded by Moses Asaga. And then as Minister for Water Resources, Works and Housing, he was preceded by Alban Sumana Kisford Bagbin, who is now the Speaker of Ghana's Parliament, and succeeded by Mr. Collins Dauda. And then as Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram, he was preceded by Stanley Bassel Bade Kabo, and then succeeded by Sam Jata George. And that's a bit of a story and the life and work of ET Mensah, popularly known as ET Mensah. This is what we are learning. And, he was giving the Order of the Companion by President Kufuor, Order of the Volta, Companion of the Order of the Volta by President Kufuor. One would have thought that, well, he belonged to a different political ideology and a different political structure in history. So what is President Kufuor's business giving him that award? I don't know what you guys think, but what was so special that he had to be giving that, not by his government, but another government? That's what I want you to focus and think about right now on the Sunrise Morning Show on 3FM 92.7. And may he rest in peace.
Urban Lifestyle Radio Station. Unia Free FM 92.7 Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
Umi kaise sanu wodi beyo nipa bia na yo body ansu na wa hihye no sa enti streshira manu no nyat na brepa na dachi mu beshia mu bio Omi streshira manu no nyat na brebi wa rade nchan efiso wachi asem no na dosu
The reflection should be, how do you want to be remembered? How exactly do you want to be remembered? How do you want people to tell your story after you're dead and gone? Not here to explain yourself, why you did what and how you did what. It should be a reflection for you this morning as we prepare to lay to rest the late ET Mensah, popularly known as ET Mensah. We will take a stream of tributes from people who work closely in that history. Remember that he succeeded the likes of Betty Moldy Drisu. As mayor of Accra, he worked under Nene Maigizo. He's also worked with former Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honourable Edward Doa Jaho, as a Member of Parliament, and many others. Ade Koka is also a former chairman of the National Democratic Congress. He worked under him as Member of Parliament and also as a staunch member of the NDC, and many others. We will now turn our attention to that tribute for ET Mensah.
ET Mensah, commonly known as ET Mensah, was a Ghanaian politician. He was a Minister for Education and a Member of Parliament in Ghana from January 1997 till January 2017. ET Mensah was born on 17th of May 1946 and comes from Pram Pram in the Greater Accra region. He schooled at Snaps College of Accountancy, which he completed in 1968. He also had his RSA 3 in 1970, and he became a fellow of the Institute of Financial Accountants in 1986. He was an accountant officer and worked at the University of Ghana, Legon, as an accounting officer.
He's lived a full life. I mean, from being an official of the University of Ghana, which is where he was when the revolution took place. They were the early ones who anchored the revolutionary process. Himself and Ama Binuado were both in the University of Ghana and formed the first CDR, in that institution. And he's also one of those who anchored our new local government when the district assembly concept was rolled out. And so his role in history is cemented, and nobody can take that credit from him.
During the time of the PNDC military regime in Ghana, he was the long-time chief executive of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, akin to be the mayor of the city of Accra.
For me, ET Mensah's reign as the mayor of Accra was the most purposeful, most forward-looking, because the government is allowed to appoint 30% of assembly members as government appointees. ET Mensah did not bring anybody. He brought people like Mr. Okai, the former Accra Academy headmaster, who became our presiding member, Dr. Dodu, and a chief accountant of CMB, Professor Baita, Mrs. Sanipa. He brought men and women of substance to the Accra Metropolitan Assembly as the 30% contribution. And I am sure the records of Accra Metropolitan Assembly would vindicate the man ET Mensah. ET had transformed the Accra City Council to Accra Metropolitan Authority, and it would be a bit difficult that the staff would not accept that there was a new concept called District Assembly, and that the Accra Metropolitan Assembly Authority should be replacing Accra Metropolitan Authority. It became an interesting battle, but in the end, we came to the understanding that working together was better than fighting.
He'd been in AMA for a long time, and I used to call him to advise on certain things because the deeper work in Greater Accra mostly was in the Accra area. And there are things that we did that helped government to maintain a certain image and develop Accra. Cleaning, waste management, etc., etc. So it's a very big blow.
He joined the National Democratic Congress when it was formed in 1992. Mensah was a Ghanaian politician and stood for Ghanaian parliamentary election in 1996 and was elected Member of Parliament for the Ningo Pram constituency, holding the seat for almost a decade. He first went into Parliament after he was elected as a Member of Parliament of the Second Parliament of the Fourth Republic of Ghana during the 1996 Ghanaian general election.
I decided not to go to Parliament when we started. So I didn't go to Parliament in 1992.
Because you went straight into...
I didn't go to Parliament.
So you came in 97 after the 96.
At the time, the elders in Ningo Pram, they came and lobbied me. I refused to. So this time around, they went to President Rawlings. And President Rawlings also said he needed me to be around. So we went back and forth. So he said, oh, Chen, yes, I want to feel. So it was when he decided I should go, that was when. And when I went to Ningo Pram constituency, there were only 2 buildings in which you find electricity. And this morning, was a company this morning.
Yeah, doing the roads.
Yeah, not doing the roads, the Big and Tie factory.
Oh, okay.
So they had their own plant. And then 3 blocks away from the place was a friend of his who was also a contractor who had tapped from this morning. Yeah. That was it. The benefit of my going there wasn't only for electricity in Ningo Pram. But when I went there and then started going around, even though I heard from the place once in a while we go to 1 week, then we're gone. When the place I go, we follow them. I didn't know the length and breadth of that, area. Until when Buzia came, and then he made my uncle chief executive of the Dangbe district. And the Dangbe district was all the way from Madam to Ku. One district. So what could he have done? And what could other people do in those days? So when I went down and then we went around the villages and I saw the number of villages and the poverty. Well, people have to contribute. Why do you want to get the money? 92.7. So I came. Well, when finally President Rawlings agreed that I should go, he said, you channel, when you caught your blame on me, just open your eyes and watch what is happening during that area, because it was his time that Shai Osudoku and Dangbe West and Dangbe East was created. Shai Osudoku and the whole Pram area, Dangbe West at the time. Before later, it was divided. So figure out what was happening there. And then the whole of that, and the dam is so big. There was no way they would have had electricity.
And it was a very healthy relationship because in 1993, luckily, I was appointed regional minister for Greater Accra. He was then AMA chief, and then later on he became sports minister. So it helped our relationship to grow further, because as regional minister for Greater Accra, I was looking after his constituency and the like. And I remember the chairman PMDC and President Jerry Rawlings used to call us together and talk to us as Nyamime, Nyamime, we should try as much as possible to help the language grow. So, 80 is somebody
92.7.
who is very dear to me. We used to quarrel a little, but we share a lot.
He polled a total valid vote of 15,677, representing 56.10%, defeating his opponents, Desmond Nenekweno, who polled 1,569, which represent 5.60% of the total vote cast. After the NDC lost the 2000 elections, he continued as a member of parliament, winning in subsequent elections in 2004, 2008, and 2012, maintaining his seat until 2016.
Our relationship got closer when he joined us in Parliament, the second Parliament of the Fourth Republic in January 1997.
He once served as a minority chief whip in Parliament prior to the Ghanaian parliamentary election in 2008. In January 2009, when the NDC won majority in Parliament, he became the majority chief whip.
The fourth Parliamentary became the deputy minority whip, and I moved from the chief whip of the minority side to become deputy leader. And so he joined the leadership of the House. And again, we work closely to see how we can work together, strengthen the party, and win the 2008 election. And ET was all over the place contributing his quota. When we won the election in 2008, 2009, because if you recollect, we have to go to time to settle scores there. And ET became the chief whip. The then leadership of the party took a decision that some of the experienced hands in the House should not go into the executive arm of government.
I was in Parliament for many years with him. We worked closely together. And he's held various positions, including what General referred to as the three wise men. Unfortunately, the media took it in a different way and misrepresented what the purpose of that appointment was. But he worked, anything he did, he gave his heart to it. And as for his commitment to the NDC, nobody can ever doubt his commitment.
At the beginning of the Fourth Republic, he was appointed Minister for Youth and Sports by President Jerry John Rawlings. ET Mensah held that position through both terms in Rawlings' regime.
One important incident I would like to relate to was when we won in 1992, and all of us, cadets and the youth, were rooting for ET to become the Minister for Youth and Sports. So we said, any other person that will be brought, we won't accept. Then we heard the announcement on radio, Minister for Youth and Sports, Mr. ET Mensah. Then hell broke loose. All cadets met chanting revolutionary songs, charging on Justice Adnan's office. He said, why? He said, what? we the youth and cadres of this party, we said that ET is our man. Who is this in October? So ET, we don't want any entertainment, sir. We must put ET there, otherwise we will disagree. Then Justice Anna looked at us and laughed. Okay, what is the full meaning of ET? None of us knew. Then he said, it is your man, entertainment who has been appointed. You see, that tells you how he was held in high esteem among the youth, among the Kedako, and all that. So we all go one day. So we can only thank God that he's been taken away after he has established his records within the party and in the history of Madagascar.
Because ET Mensah, as we all know him, was a man of many parts. His contribution to the youth of this country is unmeasurable. Most MPs, most of the young MPs in the Ghana's parliament who are members of the National Democratic Congress came through his hands. The sports development in this country as we find it today came through the hands of ET Mensah. The development of Greater Accra, ET played a very pivotal role, an expert in local government. The wisdom that ET Mensah had, one cannot contemplate it. ET, as we celebrate his life, has left good footprints in the sands of time.
In January 2010, after a cabinet reshuffle, President John Evans Atta Mills appointed him Minister for Employment and Social Welfare. Mensah was a member of the Pan-African Parliament until January 2009, when he resigned after being appointed a member of state in January 2011. He was appointed Minister for Education following the resignation of Betty Maud Idrisu.
I remember till now when I resigned from office, he was the one as Minister of Education. He came and took over from me. And I remember the words of advice he gave me and his sorrow and his assurance to me that, well, he would never let go of my hand because we are partners in this exercise in politics. And we bring the brother and sisterhood of the Gandhi. I remember the words up to today. Sister, Kashi Nukunukubi, Nuoya Osa, Indenono, Otomosa. And there were much more deeper expressions of friendship and brotherhood arising out of certain political circumstances at that time, which endeared him to Alaji, myself, and our inner family.
On February 12, 2021, ET Mensah was unanimously elected as a representative of the Council of State for Greater Accra Region. Honorable ET Mensah was married with 7 children. He died in South Africa on October 1, 2023, at age 77. Mensah was awarded the Companion of the Order of Volta by President Kufuor's government.
That should take heart. We shouldn't be mourning him, we should be celebrating him for what he's been able to achieve. Not many people live a life that he has lived, and so we should be proud of him. And so we do take heart with you and family in this time of difficulty.
So on behalf of the party, we wish to express our deepest condolences to the wife, children, and the family. He has played his role, and at a point, he became so endeared to us, the Keda fraternity, that
92.7.
Minimum York came Addison Flow, Jiwo, Shimon, Babo Modern, Obapia, Yalane, Ujuba, Wahi Yala in a depot, Emashi, Jinfiana, Kachi Sumo Wulu, Nomia York, Hanga Dangbi, Kanishuma Pa, Neighbor Chu, Kaha. Kadang bi ke mamu fe ke jile fe mo fe ma yo se ni e ba fe no wulu ni ye wo history min denche yake abanga e sajin yene.
ET Mensah always surrounded himself with people who wanted to work and who were intelligent. That is the hallmark of ET Mensah. That is what I have learned. Above all, he told me, son, never be corrupt. It is better, it's easier to spell integrity than to spell corruption. And that is what has made me Sampi Yale. On this day, as I say what I'm saying, which I have written in details to contribute to a book he was writing, I want to tell my brother, master, and mentor, rest in peace. You have done your best. My brother, Yawo Juba. E.T., like we all say, never dies. We shall remember him for a very long time. For NDC in particular, we must say that we owe E.T. a debt of gratitude, because his foresight and the many people he worked with, I'm sure will attest to how diligent. When E.T. says he's going to do something, he puts all his heart into it and ensure that whatever he has decided to do is achieved, and successfully so. What else can we say? Adios. The year, E.T. The year.
What a pity that I have to sit here today and pay this tribute. But we want not only our own party, our own comrades to know what ET meant to us, but as a party member, how he faithfully kept up the revolutionary tempo, how he faithfully discharged his duties to the cadres and to those at the grassroots, how he tried to live up to the onerous responsibility of being a minister of state and of the guidance, the counseling, and the words of wisdom that he was able to impart to a lot of the cabinet ministers, most of whom were his children. Ganyobi,
and did the best he could, even though he was not perfect. And may they remain comforted, and may they know that their son, their family, man, left indelible marks that history will remember very, very fondly. NDC as a party would be grateful. He was our first youth organizer. We salute him on behalf of our youth. We thank him for the service provided. They blaze a trail, they light a fire, and I can only promise him that we will work very hard to ensure that the dream that all of them had concerning this party and what this party should do concerning this country, we will do everything possible in our power to ensure that we can push that dream and also to inspire the young people just as they inspired us, so the younger generation behind us can also carry that torch And we hope as we sing our anthem, saying that from victory unto victory, wherever they are, Jerry Rawlings, Atta Mills, ET Mensah, all the comrades departed, will be happy knowing that the party they left behind is only growing stronger and leading from victory to victory and pushing a nation that truly is great, is strong. Rest in peace, Washe, rest in peace, senior comrade. May the Almighty continue to overshadow you and give comfort to your family.
For many, Honorable ET Mensah will forever remain a doyen of Ghana's politics, a father, a priest, and a mentor. ET Mensah will forever be remembered.
Development our God, from vision to the end is surely. Democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity, from vision to the end is surely. Our strength in unity.
And that was a tribute to the memory of the late ET Mensah, pastor, teacher, leader, former mayor of Accra, former minister for youth and sports, former minister for education, former minister for works and housing, employment and social welfare, former member of parliament for Ningo Pram Pram, former member of the Council of State, a former holder of the Order of the Volta, Companion Medal, and a man of many parts. He has gone to be with the Lord. He will be put to rest today with a state burial in his honor. But right now, it's time for sports. Kelvin Owusu-Ansah. Charlie.
Johnny's.
Charlie, good to see you, my brother.
Yeah, nice seeing you too.
Not a happy day.
Yeah, not really one of the best days you'd want to have, but we just hope